Blair and Nicole started off playing house with one baby. But now that baby number 2, Carter, has arrived, playtime is over.
How am I emotionally gonna be able to give for 2 children?
And then there's Nicole's mom.
You've done it. Now you have to deal with it. You have to get on with it.
Blair's finding it all a little hard to swallow.
That's bull.
I'll puke right on the floor.
You should be changing diapers.
Nicole and Blair met at a party, went home together, and Nicole never left. And now they have a 15-month-old son and a newborn baby. And the party is definitely over. Our birthdays experts will be watching closely over the next 6 weeks. Relationship guru Josie Vogal, supermom with a watchful eye Kathy Buckworth, and the man who's always psyched and ready to go, Dr. Irvin Waloff.
Nicole and I met at my parents' house. We were having a little party in the backyard. She ended up coming back to my place, and she never ended up leaving.
I think the reason why I'm attracted to Blair initially was, you know, his drive and his love of life.
I work at a company that installs lightning rods on a high-rise building.
And with lightning speed, this one night of passion has turned into a life of pablum.
Nicole and I have been together for about 3 years now. We have one child, his name's Braden.
I was still breastfeeding. We were using the pull and pray method. I thought we were safe, but we weren't.
And apparently Blair missed that one vital health class.
How did it happen anyways, first of all? And secondly, like, how are we gonna afford this? How am I emotionally gonna be able to give for 2 children?
And Nicole's mother suddenly offers her opinion.
You've done it. Now you have to deal with it. You have to get on with it. You know, it's too, oh, wow. But yeah, definitely he's too young, and she is way too young.
This pregnancy definitely affected our relationship in the fact that we did have an accident at 5 months.
After we had sex, I had bled quite a bit.
Put us out of sexual commission, I guess you could say, and now, you know, we get frustrated with each other.
I went to my OB, and he said to me, no more sex.
Not too many men can say they've been with a partner living in the same house and haven't had sex in the last 4 months. I mean, that's a pretty big kick in the balls.
I know he, you know, helps himself out, and I help him out.
Whoa, Nicole, we get it, thanks.
Pull and pray is not a method of birth control. I just want to say that and make sure.
Recommend that? No.
Today's the day Nicole and Blair welcome baby Carter into his new home. Mom and Dad are stunned silent, but they managed to celebrate with a fancy meal.
I don't think it really hit me until I walked through the door and realized I have 2 kids, and it's like that fog's dissipating, and I'm having to deal with it, just changing diapers and trying to deal with a 15-month-old while trying to change, you know, a day-old's diaper.
But surely on Carter's first night home, Blair will be there to help Nicole.
I'm a pretty sound sleeper, so I might not even hear Carter the whole night, so I'm hoping Nicole will put up with that and not kick me too many times, but if she needs to, she knows I'm there, and anytime she needs to wake me up, I'm 100% there.
100% ineffectual, that is. But Nicole must be delirious because she doesn't seem too bothered by it the next morning.
We had a good run last night when we went to sleep. We got a couple of hours before the baby woke up and he needed to be fed. And that energized me. So I was ready for the night. And then I think I got another hour, maybe 2, until he fed again. And then after that, it was quite frequent until Braden came into the bed at about 8 o'clock, and I think we all just got another hour and a half, 2 hours anyway. So I've definitely got more sleep than I got in the hospital. So I have more energy than I did yesterday.
So refreshed and raring to go, They meet Nicole's family for breakfast, where little Braden can sit down to enjoy his scraps of meat. And then Nicole's mom opens up the pleasant table chatter.
We should talk about the birth control thing, that's for sure. We need to deal with that soon, the two of you.
I understand where you're coming from because, you know, you don't want to see me have a third child because you're not even sure if we can survive with two.
I'll get a vasectomy.
Negative.
I'm taking you.
No.
Is that on the menu?
No.
They have 2 kids, and now they say, now we need to talk about birth control. Where were these parents,
Little
you know,
late.
24 months ago? Where were they then?
Well, yeah,
talking
when they
about
were
birth
younger.
control? And why is she all of, you know, and they're talking about maybe you need a vasectomy. They're joking about it, but right away, Nicole is saying, no, and I'm not sure why her reaction is so extreme to that. But it seems like she's sort of reacting to, I don't want anyone else to take control of this, but she's too young to sort of take control of it herself.
Yeah, I was surprised that she immediately reacted to no vasectomy because, you know, that certainly would be a method that wouldn't impose on her, and she wouldn't have to be taking anything. And, you know, they are reversible if need be down the road, if they do decide they get in a better position.
And sex is
want
important
kids.
to him, and so a vasectomy is a little bit nicer way to go than some of the other alternatives, right, if he really wants to enjoy it.
Here's 2 kids who now have 2 kids. They're nice, they're sweet, they're friendly, and I don't know how well equipped they are for the labors to come.
But 1 week after baby Carter's homecoming, Daddy has a spring in his step.
If you've noticed this morning, I'm looking a little more chipper. It was because Nicole and I were actually able to do the deed.
Blair woke up and he wanted to have sex.
So I'm just feeling amazing today, you know, get that load off my chest.
And he hasn't been pressuring me. I won't use the word pressure. But he's been very persistent.
It's a big sigh of relief being able to do something like that, and our marriage seems to be back on track.
So I kind of felt, well, you know, Blair deserves it kind of thing.
And she kind of really wasn't totally up for it, but she finally gave in.
Like I remember last time wanting to, and this time it wasn't, I didn't want to.
And what tastes great after sex? Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
I like to take the odd break. I'm a smoker, so I need to be able to go out and have a cigarette. And obviously, I can't be smoking in the same room as the children. Approximately every hour, I go down and have my 5-minute, 10-minute cigarette break. You know, play a little bit of video games. It's a nice little break from the kicking and screaming upstairs and Braden going off on it every which angle, and Carter, you know, whining about needing to eat or needing to be changed.
I find with Blair, he more so, he likes to step back from the whole ownership of the thing. He needs to take a break, and his break is literally sitting in the basement and smoking.
I don't think he understands the relationship as being anything more than sex. And he has to pay some dues, he has to do some stuff. But if this guy has to be gone 5 to 10 minutes an hour, that's bad news for everybody. And it's worthy of note, I'm very concerned about his investment in the kids, because he didn't say, I want to get away from the boys or from Braden and Carter. He said, I want to get away from the kicking and screaming.
And Carter whining. It's a newborn baby.
I know, I'm not sure what he expects the baby to be doing besides whining and pooping.
You have a poop. Okay, so today Nicole's out with her mom, so I'm looking after Braden for the afternoon, and he just had a stinky diaper, so Dad's gonna attempt to change it, and hopefully we don't go running off to the bathroom or puke on the floor.
He has this gag reflex, and it sounds like a dog just heaving out everything that he had to eat for like a week. It's awful. It could even be me just pulling the diaper off of Braden, and if he's nearby, he will gag. He has thrown up dinner. He has thrown up if I've gone out and he's had to do it. He's thrown up. And it's really frustrating. It was more so earlier on when I was thinking he's just trying to get out of changing these diapers, right? But then eventually I realized, no, I mean that's not faking it. When you're actually throwing up in the bathroom, you know, it's a real issue.
So right now I'm gonna have my first glance at it. It's probably gonna be absolutely disgusting because I don't think he's gone since yesterday morning. Hopefully it's just a little one. And it's not very pretty.
So Blair missed that health class, but it looks like he never skipped drama.
Oh, it stinks.
And the award goes to...
So now we have to hold our breath.
That's bull. He should be changing diapers. Whether you gag or not, you do it. You know you're a father, you just do it.
Good thing that couch is brown.
that's the hard part. Maybe just give him one quick wipe, make sure he's clean. At least the stinky's gone. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. What'd you eat? Huh? Did you eat sewage for dinner last night? Well, my response when people say something negative towards me about, you know, don't be such a sissy, you know, it's only poop. Well, I guess I kind of feel like a bit of a wimp too, but I mean, it happens. It's not like I'm putting on some big show for anybody. I mean, I'm not that good of an actor that I can fake something like that.
In his defense a little bit, I am a gagger, and you know, and I understand, yeah, maybe I would get over it if it was my own child, but I've gagged at other people's kids.
We all gag at other people's kids.
Exactly.
I guarantee you, your kid could eat sewage and poop out worse sewage, and you'd be crying going, look how beautiful.
The fact of the matter is, too, when you have kids, and I have 4 of them, changing the diapers is this big in the whole arena of raising children.
You're rancid. What did Mom feed you?
He is a kid with a girlfriend and 2 babies, sort of pretending to be a grown-up and not doing a great job of it.
No, I think so, and I mean, you know, changing the baby on the sofa without a diaper pad or anything underneath. And you know, it's just, to me, it's just so much about a lack of maturity. I mean, it's so obvious that he's just not emotionally prepared for this. He doesn't know what intimacy is. You know, he doesn't know what a marriage is. And they've got 2 kids.
He knows intimacy in a marriage is you do that kind of thing, and that's intimacy, and that's a marriage. You know, it's interesting. I don't dislike him. I don't have bad feelings. I just feel sorry for him. I think, Booby, you are so far over
They're
your
both
head.
in their head. And I have to say, on the sex thing, I know that for him it was a really big thing. I think they had their own reasons for having sex, and I think it kind of worked for both of them.
She says he deserves it, so she's paying him back for being a nice fellow.
Yeah, that's what my concern is, that the satisfaction she's getting out of it is that he's now happier, and it kind of gets him, you know, off her back a bit.
And after 3 weeks with baby number 2, the state of the relationship and the state of the house are leaving a lot to be desired.
Nicole, I don't know, for whatever reason, she likes to make a mountain on the back of the couch of diapers instead of putting them in the garbage, or even having a little plastic bag around that she can just put them in, but they're Carters, so they don't really stink too bad, I guess. I try not to argue with her too much about that, because she's kind of got the upper hand. She'll just say, why didn't you clean them up when you got home from work, then why do I have to do it? So she's changing them, so I'm picking them up.
She lines them up in a way that bothers Blair, and she knows he's sensitive to dirty diapers. I think that's a mute expression of her anger and resentment towards him. You're not happy with this? Here.
Yeah, I think that's what it is she's saying, you know, look at all the literal crap that I have to deal with while you're downstairs having a cigarette. You're away from it. I'm dealing with it. I want you to see it. I want you to live it.
So while Blair lives in it at home, Nicole visits her mom for a friendly chat.
You are the most disgusting people. You are. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. My husband doesn't get it because he gets pissed off at me when I gotta go down and help you clean for 2 days. And then I'm so tired I can't be nice here because I'm so tired. I mean, she is a great mum. I think she's doing amazing as a mum. But everything else is stopped in her world.
I'm too tired, and Blair comes home and does as much as he can do, and we're both wiped by the end of the night.
Clean up when you make a little bit of a mess. You pick it up. And you know what? If it was clean, you would feel better up in your head. You wouldn't be so stressed. Well, you're not, because you don't stress.
Well, no, I don't enjoy when my house looks the way it does right now, but I just don't see...
Nikki, it has nothing to do with the baby. You were a slob before 3 weeks ago.
Yes, I just said
and
that.
And before 15 months ago.
I just said that.
Is that laundry still in the washing machine that I put in that day?
I have no idea.
That was, how many, 6 weeks ago?
I have no idea.
I don't particularly care for the way Nicole's mother talks to her. It's all devaluing, it's all critical, and it's not helpful. The message is you will fail some more.
Right.
And I don't know why it's all your fault.
Now, Nicole heeds her mother's earlier gentle advice and looks into an IUD ASAP.
And you thought about what you'd like to use for birth control?
I wanted to use the IUD, but it's not financially possible at the moment because I don't want to use the cheaper one.
Okay.
I'd rather, you know,
use the more expensive one with the other benefits.
Well, there's some things you have to cut back on. Like Nicole today went for an IUD, and we weren't able to afford the expensive one, and her gynecologist ended up telling her that the cheaper one wasn't really worth it. So things like that we kind of have to cut back on right now because we're not making the money that we'd like to. But I mean, life isn't perfect, so you know, we do what we can do.
And so what do? They decide to throw themselves a big old fancy wedding in a few months. Nicole has her brood, but now she wants to be a bride.
When I see Nicole trying on the wedding dresses, I was kind of, you know, in my mind, it's like, oh, we should be trying these on without a baby in my arms crying and one at home, you know. This should have been the other way around, I guess. But a lot of people feel, why? Why do they need to? Why are they bothering? Because it's not gonna last. But I've resigned myself to the fact now.
What was interesting with the mother is, you know, her shopping for the wedding dress with her, she wasn't sad about the fact or confused or upset about the fact that, you know, she was spending money on a wedding dress instead of dealing with birth control, which she was concerned about earlier. Her concern was more that, oh, she should have been having the wedding before the babies came along.
She should pull out entirely, actually, and the kids have got to, Nicole and Blair have really got to grow up and take responsibility for this stuff, including the fact that if they can't afford to get married right now, don't get married right now.
Why are they even focusing on a wedding?
Why is the mother going with them to pick out a dress they can't afford?
Yeah, I mean, mother should be saying, look at kids, like, forget the wedding. Why are we even talking wedding? You got to get your house under control. You've got to get the birth control thing. No question.
And this sounds like a silly question, but do they want to get married? Like, if we had evidence of this, like, sorry, but why are they getting married at this particular juncture? Is this such an important thing for them to do? Who's pushing that? Is the mother pushing it because she has this fantasy of her daughter walking down the aisle?
Or now that they have
dress?
2 kids, they should be married?
Or the off-white dress?
Yeah.
That's the case.
But it's just another day in paradise for Nicole.
It's not so much isolating during the day, it's, well, maybe isolating is the word. I don't get to, my only contact is with my mom. And I call her probably 8 times a day. It probably drives her absolutely nuts. But it's my only way, other than when Blair gets home and tells me about his day and why are you interested kind of thing. But I can't help it. It's just my way of getting any kind of contact with, like I said, with the outside world. So, I mean, I must drive my mom up the wall because I just call her to talk about anything about what we're gonna do next week, just to keep me sane. Like my weeks, I plan my weekend.
Nicole is totally isolated. She's on her own. I was shocked to hear her say that the only person that she talks to is her mother.
8 times a day.
8 times a day. Anybody's mother would be bad too, particularly maybe Nicole's. But she needs to get a mother's group or a parenting group. I talked about that before. It's really important. She needs to have some peers and people who are going through exactly what she's going through. She's right. Blair doesn't get it.
It can be lonely and as much as I love my kids and you know, they do bring a lot of joy into my life, you need to have adult contact.
Who's that?
And thankfully, her contact with the outside world returns home.
I can't keep him off this one.
Don't throw that at me, please. Thank you.
He's eating fairly good today, though. He had peanut butter and jam and yogurt.
Is that what he's been doing all day? Is just being cranky though?
Yeah, it's been great. It's my big vacation that I'm on. That's how much fun it is.
But then there's Blair's idea of a vacation.
Well, it's kind of nice to be able to get out here and do some barbecuing because I can come out, you know, have a few extra smokes, turn the barbecue down to low, let it cook for 20 minutes when it's supposed to take 10. So Nicole doesn't know the difference. And, you know, I'll have a beer out here and I'm all by myself. No kids are crying. I might probably barbecue 3 or 4 nights a week.
And this is why parents need eyes in the back of their head.
How about no?
Luckily, Braden only manages to get a sip in.
How about no?
It was sort of one of those moments when I was watching Blair at the barbecue and he's talking about breaks and getting away. It's not rocket science. He just does not want to be a father of 2 kids. And he's all but said so explicitly. He can't stand his own kid's diaper. He doesn't look like he's overjoyed by their company.
When he walked in the house, and I mean, usually, you know, you're happy to see your kids. You haven't seen them all day. And, you know, it was almost like Nicole having to push Braden.
Go
like,
and see him.
Please, you know, get this kid off my hands. He won't leave this toy alone.
It would be really good for him to acknowledge this isn't where he wanted to be, and he'll shoulder the burden anyway.
And it might help him shoulder the burden a bit more too, because it might say, I don't have to like it, that's fine. But I know maybe I can't change a diaper. I'm still not sure on that one. Maybe he can't change a diaper, but he can do so many other things.
Yeah, they're not enjoying parenthood. They're enduring parenthood because it's happened to them, and they, you know, they're nice people, and they're not going, you know, they're not just going to abandon the children and leave them on somebody's doorstep, you know, and it's just kind of sad and unfortunate, but they need some help.
It's now 6 weeks since Carter's come home, and it's high time for a family outing to the food mart.
Should I grab a couple of bananas for Brayden?
I wish somebody had told me that my dreams would either have to be put on hold or never followed through. After having children, I mean, you can't be selfish, and you have to think more, okay, if I do decide to go back to school, how do we afford it?
Well, if I could have done things differently, ideally I would have liked to, you know, maybe even known Nicole a little bit longer, then moved into an apartment, maybe got married while we were in the apartment and still had the money to do it, you know, or had extra money just kicking around. We could just have an extravagant wedding, and it wouldn't take us very long to save up for that. Then maybe buy a house, then have a child, and then see on the second one, you know, are we financially stable? We already have our house. We know what that cost is like, so see what the first one brings cost-wise, and if we can handle it emotionally and everything, and then plan on the second one from there. Once you know for sure this is what it's going to take, you could practically write it on paper. This is the cost it's going to cost us. This is the money we're going to have.
And da-da-da-da-da. But you know what? I really think they need to stop. 2 children in this world, and 2 healthy children in this day and age is enough. Most people can stop having 2 boys and be quite happy with that. But she isn't going to. And I can't see Nicole waiting 2 or 3 years. I can see an accident happening again, only simply because it happened so easily the last 2 times.
Nicole and Blair are a couple of nice kids who are stuck in the position of having to behave like nice adults without any training. Yeah. They need someone to show them how mature people function as individuals, as a couple, and as parents.
We're maturing, we're
growing
learning.
With the kids.
Yeah, that's about it.
We're kids turning into adults, or infants turning into kids.
That should bolster the relationship and the couple. Like, they need to be separate individuals and together without getting lost.
And they also need to realize that they're not the only ones going through this, that dealing with a young baby is really hard. Dealing with 2 young children is very hard.
I think after Braden, we were still allowed to be a little bit selfish and a little bit young. But after we had the 2, we realized, no more. We can't do that anymore. We have to be for our kids, and we have to, you know, look after those bills, and we have to look after the house, and we have to look after ourselves.
And they need birth control.
Because 3 children is harder than 2.
Yes, and I don't want to be doing the show when we're dealing with them with 3 kids.
Exactly.
But you don't really like condoms very much, right? So,
But
see, I could care less as long as we're doing it. That's fine with me, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody told me when she was pregnant with Braden, oh, you're gonna have a kid. This is gonna be the end. That was big, but like 2 kids is just, and she wants 3.
you know what, though? We're still...
I know, we're still out on that. You are. I'm not.
It's a whole nother show.